What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and the screeching has not stopped since the new Ghostbusters Afterlife trailer has dropped, and they continue to openly campaign against the success of this film because they don't like the fans. They're totally not the toxic ones, though. Now, articles have started coming out where Paul Feig breaks his silence on Ghostbusters Afterlife trailer. And you'd think, oh, there's going to be some important thing here. No, it's just a boring tweet. This looks awesome. Huge congrats to Jason Reitman and his amazing cast and crew. Can't wait to see this. Okay, great. Yeah, of course, because it's a real Ghostbusters movie. But the Twitter hot takes are unbelievable. Part of me is like, ooh, new Ghostbusters. But part of me is worried that if it's successful, the toxic, misogynistic neckbeards who had meltdowns about female Ghostbusters will feel unfairly vindicated. And marketing jerks will think, actually, it's bad to put women in things. Yeah, do you really believe that? I mean, I hope she sees that, bro. And, I mean, I guess pronouns in the bio, so, I mean, there's that. But, I mean, we just had Star Wars is going to make $1 billion. You think what Hollywood studio is going to think, oh, putting women in things is bad? Here we have, I don't feel safe saying this on any other social media, but the original Ghostbusters is a bad movie with a toxic fan base. Man, it feels good to say that out loud. I mean, sure, we're the toxic ones. You know, we're out here disparaging large groups of fandoms without any evidence. You know, we're just out here just saying bad things about people. You know, the thing is, when you're looking at, if you take away the fact that the 2016 movie was complete trash, and it was, even if it wasn't trash, it was still a shameless cash grab. Just trying to capitalize off the Ghostbusters IP and those same quote-unquote toxic fans that because they didn't worship your movie are all of a sudden the bad ones here. I suppose if everyone had loved it, well, then they wouldn't be toxic, even though it's the same group of fans. Here you have Jacob Hall. He's a managing editor at Film. The Ghostbusters Afterlife trailer looks like exactly what the toxic fans demanded a few years ago. A Ghostbusters movie without any jokes. Well, first of all, you don't know if there are any jokes. Second of all, what the Ghostbusters 2016 had was the entire film in and of itself was a joke. The entire film was more joke than anything else. And the thing is, it isn't, I don't think, exactly what the Ghostbusters fandom had wanted for a third installment of Ghostbusters. What we wanted was Ghostbusters 3 to be done 20 years ago, when the entire cast and crew was still alive, when you could have completed the story and moved on, but everyone else had gotten too successful, and it was just too hard to make the deals with people like Bill Murray, even Rick Moranis and things like that. This is not, even this, Ghostbusters Afterlife, I would argue, isn't what real Ghostbuster fans wanted. I'm still on the fence of whether or not I'm going to see this. I was not overly impressed by the initial trailer. I mean, sure, it looks like a supernatural thing, but if the original cast is relegated to simple cameos, I'm not seeing it. I'm not just going to prove Hollywood right because, or I'm not going to prove everyone saying, oh, people will just see it because no woman. By the way, isn't the main character a girl in this movie? But if Ghostbusters Afterlife isn't a good movie, it remains the same thing that the Ghostbusters 2016 film was, a shameless cash grab. And we see this one. Oh, great. The, quote, the only reason you didn't like Ghostbusters 2016 was because a women crowd is back. Yeah, there were a lot of toxic jerks that were like that. But come on already. I really wanted to love that movie. More Ghostbusters is a good thing. I don't necessarily view Ghostbusters as a franchise, the same way maybe you would view Transformers as a franchise. Because Ghostbusters, to me, will always be the original cast. Anything that doesn't include the original cast is not Ghostbusters. And I just, you know, that's probably not its fault. But let's take a film like Jurassic Park, for example. You can make 1 million Jurassic Parks with different actors and actresses, and the franchise is fine. Star Wars, for example, maybe there's a section of the fandom that's still like the original it's got to be Mark Hamill. It's got to be the original cast. But I think Star Wars has $1 billion, box office 3 times in a row. Kind of proves that doesn't really need the original cast. It's more of a franchise. But Ghostbusters, I don't think has ever really been that way. Even my favorite, the Ghostbusters cartoon, still starred basically the original cast. To me, the third Ghostbusters film is and will always be the video game, the Xbox 360 game. In fact, they've remastered it. So if you want to see what most hardcore fans of Ghostbusters view as the third Ghostbusters film, you can go to places online and watch all the cutscenes and the stories from that, or better yet, play the game, because you could probably pick it up for like $5. That will always be a better Ghostbusters 3 than anything they can make today. And John Squires here, editor-in-chief. I've been pretty vocal over the years about the fact that not everyone who disliked Ghostbusters 2016 is a part of that toxic groups of poo heads who were hungry to destroy it, as that'd be an absurd claim to make, especially coming from someone who isn't even a fan of the movie. So he's saying, I didn't like it, but please give me credit because I support Woman. I mean, the reality is it was a bad movie. Everybody knows that. There bears blame on both sides. It's not just that, men didn't like it because of women. Look at all the articles that the media was pushing. The media was essentially pushing at the time this narrative that only men didn't like Ghostbusters 2016, and the only reason they didn't like it is because women. Well, that's going to whip a lot of people up into a frenzy, and it's going to make them lash out. It's going to make them fight back against that particular narrative, and I don't blame them for it. You see this one. He's a writer. This writer says, man, if the internet hadn't made Ghostbusters such an exhaustive and horrible thing to be in the presence of, this trailer had me going, this could be fun. But it's clear that this movie exists because executives saw the man babies complaining and went, ooh, money. What's the plot? Male child finds Ghostbuster merch. Scary demon underground. Missing dad. Like, that's not a bad plot. It just feels like the ideas are best, like a first ideas are best ideas plot that was intended to be cranked out as fast as possible. Maybe. I'm standing firm here. I'm telling you, I need to see more from another trailer before I have any interest at all in giving this money. Because just because they're remaking it again does not automatically make it any better. I gotta say, I'm not exactly sold on the kids' Ghostbusters thing. I mean, if you look back at the original Ghostbusters, you have a kid wearing a proton pack when full-grown adults could barely wear them. They don't address that, or if they do address it in the movie, I'll be curious. I mean, they made a point in the movie to see how heavy they were, and then there's like an 8-year-old kid that's like 60 pounds soaking wet trotting around with a proton pack on their back. So, I mean, if you are out there saying, hey, Ghostbusters Afterlife is just going to be a must-see for me, I think you're being taken advantage of by the media. Still, you're being taken advantage of by the same people that tried to make money off the fandom in 2016. Look at this one here. Is this for all the whiny man babies who couldn't bear the idea of women Ghostbusters? This should keep them happy. It looks very serious and a suitable homage. This, of course, is a reply to the actual Ghostbusters trailer. And I do, if your response is where are my jokes, and you don't have any idea who Paul Rudd is, you are absolutely being disingenuous. Of course, Paul Rudd is going to be the comedic relief. Of course, there's going to be comedy in this movie. I guarantee it. And first of all, yes, I think above all else, Ghostbusters was a comedy with serious moments in it. It was absolutely loaded with sarcastic jokes and dry humor, which is why it worked. Then if you go to Ghostbusters 2, it was basically the main cast all just riffing off each other for the entire time. But to say that Ghostbusters Afterlife has to be a comedy, and that's, if it isn't, that's somehow a knock on it, I don't understand that either. And you still have more people. I still really love Ghostbusters, Answer the Call. Trying to placate the man babies doesn't change that. Again, why? I mean, we're thankful for our fellow Ghostbusters no matter where they're from. You know what's great about this? We have the cartoon on here. We have another version of the cartoon here. We've got clips from the movie. We've got the original cast here. We got the other original cast here. There's something missing. I'm not sure if I could put my finger on it, but... Oh, wait, the top reply. You forgot something. No, these aren't Ghostbusters. These are actors that took a bunch of money, just like the studio wanted, to take a payday, who didn't give a crap about the original Ghostbusters at all. It was obvious from the writing. It was obvious that when many of the actresses wouldn't even want to go on the press tour at the end. I remember when, what's her name? I forget it, from Mike and Molly. She was like not out on the press tour at all because she knew the movie was terrible. Seeing Extreme Ghostbusters fills my heart with joy. Yeah, that's the cartoon. Cartoon is still great, I think. It still stands up. But, you know, I think Ghostbusters Afterlife, I'm not willing to just give it a pass and just say, hey, go give them money because it's not female Ghostbusters. That's ridiculous. I don't want them cashing in on my childhood unless they put in the work to put together a good movie. And I stand by still saying that Ghostbusters themselves tweeted out that the Ghostbusters game was remastered, and I still think that this is the third movie undeniably. And it's a great one. You don't even have to, you can put it on easy mode and just enjoy it. Then you can really see the third Ghostbusters film. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.